Hello students. So students, in the previous class in this chapter, that is fibre to fabric, we were talking about the production of wool. You see students, we had already discussed that what are the different animals which used to produce wool, and also we have seen that whether it is a camel or it is a goat, it is a sheep's yak, these all who are living in the hilly regions, they are having fur, they are having hair on their body, and that will help them to protect from that of the cold weather. So basically this fur will help in making the wool, or that will help in making the woolen clothes, you can say. So for that we have seen here one thing, that to obtain wool, what is the thing that really important, that is. So here the question is that how can we obtain the wool, student? So we have seen that if you want to get a good quality of the wool, it is important that we should rear that of the wool given the wool producing animals, as well as we should take care of them. Okay, so rearing and breeding of the animals who provide wool to us is important. Whenever we are talking about the rearing of the animals who provide wool, it means we should take care of these animals. It means they are basically herbivorous, so it is the shepherds that they used to take care of the sheep, and that will ultimately help in that it help in taking care of their food, that they should graze properly, as well as they used to provide the other food material in order to make them, or in order to provide them a sufficient nutrition that they want. Then the next one is the breeding. So you see there are a lot of sheep are there which used to give fur to that of the shepherd. So basically we need that sheep that is having the desired characteristic, that is having the good quality. So while selecting that of the sheep, we should always remember that whatever the sheep which we are choosing, it must produce a good quality of a wool. So this process is what in which we are selecting actually that of the sheep is called as selectively bred sheep. So we should select it, and then we will do the breeding process, and ultimately we will get the sheep which will provide good quality of wool. Now let us start to understand here the thing, and I was explaining that how do we obtain the wool from that of the, how do we obtain this fabric from that of the fibre, or we can say how do we obtain the wool from the sheep. What are the different processes that we used to do in order to get wool? We have already seen that we should take care of the wool giving animals, but the question is how do we obtain the wool? So here we have seen some of the points like shearing is there, then scouring is there, then shorting is there, then students dyeing, then combing, then spinning. These all are the different methods which is including in obtaining the wool. So how do we obtain wool? How do we obtain wool? Okay, so the first one, I'll start with the first one, and that is called shearing. So basically shearing is what, student? To obtain the fleece from that of the body of the sheep is called as shearing. So let me write it here, that the hair of the sheep is having very thin layer of a skin, hair of the sheep thin skin is called fleece should be removed. Should be removed. So the skin, the thin skin which is present at the outer one, which we call as a fleece, that should be removed through that of the sheep, and this process is called as shearing. So we can write here the definition, that is the process of removing hair from the body, okay. So the process of removing hair from the body of the sheep in the form of fleece, is called shearing. So basically we can say that shearing is what? It is a process in which we use to remove the hair of the sheep from its body. This process is called as the shearing, students. Okay. Now the question arises that is this method going to hurt that of the sheep, students? No, absolutely not. And the reason is that the fur are actually the dead cells. Okay, these are the dead ones, so they do not harm that of the sheep. Okay. So while cutting, this fleece should be cut in one piece. So we can write here that the hairy skin of sheep is removed in one piece. Now the process of the shearing the process of the shearing does not hurt the sheep, does not hurt the sheep. It does not hurt the sheep because the uppermost layer, because the uppermost layer of the skin of the sheep, is dead. Okay. So why the question here arises that we are using the different machines in order to remove the fleece, in order to remove the hairy skin of the sheep through the process of a shearing. So is it going to affect the body? No, absolutely not, because the uppermost layer of the skin of the sheep is a dead one. Okay. So basically the question here arises that how this process used to be done. So this process is used in cutting by like that of the barber used to cut the hair, likewise it is cut the skin or the hairy skin of the sheep is cut down. Now at what time, at what season? So basically you know that during summer season there is lot of heat, so there is no need of the fur for the sheep also. So basically the process of shearing is basically done during the summer, so that till the winter came all the hair can grow again and help in protecting it from the cold. So the shearing process is done at hot weather. It is done at hot weather of summer. Hot weather of summer, so that sheep may survive. The sheep may survive. Okay? The hair of the sheep, grow again before winter. So shearing is what, student? It is a process, the first method in which we used to remove the skin of that of the hairy skin of that of the sheep. That is called as shearing. It is done basically in the summer season so that the sheep can survive. Because what will happen if this process occur in the winter season? So there will be no hair is present, ultimately no protection, and they will die. So it is important that the process of shearing should be done in the summer season. Moving on, and we will see the another one that is called as scouring. Scouring. What is there in the scouring? Now the fleece of the sheep which we had obtained by the process of the shearing, it consisting of a dirt, it consisting of a dust, it consisting of oil and grease, and it is important to remove all such things. So this process is called as scouring. So we can write here, that is the fleece of the sheep contain dust, dirt, dried sweat and grease, etc. Okay, so it is important to clean the fleece before it can be processed. It can be processed to yarn before it can. So since it consisting of a dust, dirt, dried sweat and that of the grease, so it is important to remove all these things So we can say that before we will use the fleece in order to make the woolen yarn, it is important to remove all these things. Okay, now how do we do that, students? So we used to wash it in a lot of water. We use a lot of water in order to clean this dust and the dirt which is present along with that of the sheep, students. Okay, so the fleece is thoroughly cleaned. It is thoroughly cleaned by washing with soap. By washing with soap and a lot of water in tank. Now what kind of a process is it, students? So we can write here that is the process of washing the fleece. The process of washing the fleece that remove dust, dirt, grease is called scouring. Okay, so this is the next process or next method after shearing, in which we have taken this fleece and we used to clean it thoroughly, wash it thoroughly in order to remove the dust or the grease from it. Okay, now this scoured fleece is then dried and it is used for the next step. What is the next step, student? Next step is shorting. Next step is shorting. What happens in case of the shorting? So basically when you look at the fleece, so we have cleared the fleece, students, but even then you will find that they are very uneven. It means some of them are very rough, some of them are long, some of them are small, some of them are very soft. So we should short it, we should separate these different sizes of the fur from each other. Okay, so we can write here the first point that the wool is not uniform. Okay, it is not uniform. It means some of the fleece have fine wool fiber. Fine wool fibers, whereas others are having coarse wool fiber. Coarse wool fiber. So some of them are having fine wool fiber, others are having the coarse wool fiber, students. So not only this is the first one. Some of them very long wool fiber have long wool fibers, whereas some of them have short wool fiber. Okay, so some of them have a long wool fiber while some of them have a short wool fiber, students. So you can see here that there is difference. Difference in what? Some of them are fine, some of them are coarse, some of them are long and some of them are short wool fiber. So ultimately they are differ from each other. So it is important to separate them. So what happened in case of the shorting, students? So this fleece is sent to that of the factories so we can write it here. So here in shorting, the fleece is sent to factories. The fleece is sent factory where it is further broken, okay, into section of where it is broken and separated into section. Separated into sections of different quality. So we know that they are differing from each other. So they are sent to factories where they are separated into different section, that is into the different qualities. Quality fibers. Okay, different quality fibers. Now we can define the definition of that of the shorting, students, and that is the process of separating the fleece of a ship into sections according to the quality of woolen fibers such as fine, coarse. Fine is there, coarse is there, long, short, etc. Okay, so the process of separating the fleece of a sheep into sections. So we are actually separating the fleece into different sections, and that will only decided by the quality of the woolen fiber. What kind of a quality? That whether it is the fine word or it is a coarse one or it is a long or short. Okay, this is the thing that happened in case of the shorting. Okay, So this is the shorting in which we have shorted. The name itself says the shorting. It means we have shorted it into the long, into the coarse, into the fine fibers. Moving on, and we will see the next one. So we have shorted the wool. Now it is important to give color to it. So next step is dyeing. So the next step is dyeing. Now let us write about the dyeing. So the natural fleece of the sheep is basically creamy white or black in color. Sorry, brown or black in color. Sheep is creamy white or black in color. Creamy white or black in color. So it can be dyed into different color. It can be dyed into different. So the natural fleece of the sheep is basically creamy white in color or a black in color. So it is important to give color to it. So that's why it should be given different color. Next is combing. What happened in the combing, students? So it is a method to prepare woolen fiber for spinning. To prepare woolen fiber for spinning. Woolen fiber for spinning the yarn. So basically this is a kind of a method that is used in order to prepare that of the wool for spinning. How can we do that, students? So here we will use comb, which is having the metal tooth. So we can write here that is, this can be done by using comb having metal teeth. So we should use the comb in the combing process in order to prepare the wool for the process of spinning, so that yarn can be obtained. We will use the metal teeth comb. Now not only this, students, the process of combing straightener the entangled woolen fiber. The entangled woolen fibre. And also removes the fluffy fibers. So we can see here that we should do the process of combing because it helps in giving strength to that of the entangled woolen fiber, as well as it will also help in removing the fluffy fibers. Okay.